In hope we're saved, says St. Paul to the Romans, and likewise to us. Now, according to Christian faith, redemption, salvation, isn't something that's simply a given. Redemption is offered to us in the sense that we've been given hope, trustworthy hope, by the virtue of which we can face our present. The present, even if it is arduous, can be lived and accepted if it leads towards a goal, if we can be sure of this goal, and if this goal is great enough to warrant the effort of the journey. Now the question immediately arises, what sort of hope could ever justify the statement that, on the basis of that hope, and simply because it exists, we are redeemed? And what sort of certainty is involved here? These are the opening words of Pope Benedict's encyclical, Spe Salvi, on Christian hope. And I think that's very much a word as we enter into this third week of our lockdown to really contemplate on the role of hope in our life, and if we're also giving this gift of hope to others. One very simple way that I've also found this is by greeting others as I go for my walk. Yes, of course, I'm masked up, but just simply acknowledging the other and looking for those opportunities to show hope in a situation where we're tending to become so isolated, so concerned about our own situation. When we reach out, can we do so with joy? And I certainly encourage everyone perhaps to consider rereading this very short, beautiful, simple encyclical of Pope Benedict. I'll read you a short extract as he gives a short story of someone who discovered hope, the true meaning of Christian hope, and so their lives were transformed. As Pope Benedict says time and time again in this encyclical, our hope isn't just informative, informing us of the good news we've received, but performative, changing us. And so in paragraph 3, Pope Benedict wrote, to come to know God, the true God, means to receive hope. And we who have always lived with the Christian concept of God and have grown accustomed to it, have almost ceased to notice that we possess the hope that ensues from a real encounter with this God. The example of a saint of our time can to some degree help us understand what it means to have a real encounter with this God for the first time. I'm thinking of the African saint, St. Josephine Bakhita, canonized by Pope John Paul II. She was born around 1869, although she herself didn't know the exact date of her birth. And she was from Darfur in Sudan. At the age of 9, she was kidnapped by slave traders, beaten till she bled, and sold 5 times in the slave markets of Sudan. Eventually, she found herself working as a slave for the mother and the wife of a general, and there she was flogged every day till she bled. As a result, she bore 144 scars on her body throughout her life. And finally, in 1882, she was bought by an Italian merchant for the Italian consul Callisto Legnani, who returned to Italy as the Mahdists advanced. Here, after the terrifying masters who had owned her up to that point, Bakhita came to know a totally different kind of master. In Venetian dialect, which she was now learning, she used the name Paron for the living God, the God of Jesus Christ. Up to that time, she had known only masters who despised and maltreated her, or at best, considered her a useful slave. Now, however, she heard that there is a Paron above all masters, the Lord of all lords, and that this Lord is good, goodness in a person. She came to know that this Lord even knew her, that he had created her, that he actually loved her. She too was loved, and by none other than the supreme Paron, before whom all other masters are themselves no more than lowly servants. She was known and loved, and she was awaited. What is more, this master had himself accepted the destiny of being flogged. And now he was waiting for her at the Father's right hand. Now she had hope. No longer simply the modest hope of finding masters who would be less cruel, but the great hope. I am definitively loved. And whatever happens to me, I am awaited by this love. And so my life is good. This is what she repeated. I am definitively loved. And whatever happens to me, I am awaited by this love. And so my life is good. Through the knowledge of this hope, she was redeemed, no longer a slave, but a free child of God. She understood what Paul meant when he reminded the Ephesians that previously they were without hope and without God in the world, without hope because without God. Hence, when she was about to be taken back to Sudan, Bakita refused. She did not wish to be separated again from her patron. On the 9th of January 1890, she was baptized and confirmed and received her first Holy Communion from the hands of the Patriarch of Venice. On the 8th of December 1896 in Verona, she took her vows in the congregation of the Canonian sisters, and from that time onwards, because her work in the sacristy and in the porter's lodge at the convent, she made several journeys round Italy in order to promote the missions, the liberation that she had received through her encounter with the God of Jesus Christ. She felt she had to extend. It had to be handed on to others, to the greatest possible number of people. The hope born in her, which had redeemed her, she could not keep to herself. This hope had to reach many, to reach everybody. So once again, we're invited in this, perhaps at times, what can feel like a hopeless situation, to encounter the living God. And this can be sometimes a difficulty in these moments, to actually turn away from other distractions we have around us, all those things that take us out of our boredom, and to enter into the silence of prayer. To share with the good God everything that we are going through, to talk to him as you would simply talk with our very best friend. We hear those words in Revelation. I stand at the door and I knock. The Lord is knocking. He wants to come into your heart. Once more, he wants to come into your life, and through your life, he wants to come into the lives of others. So this week, I encourage you to ask the Lord to give you this great virtue of hope, this hope that saves us from all hopeless situations. And in very simple ways, to extend this hope to others, bearing witness to the joy that we received, this gift of salvation, be it in our very simple dealings with others, whether we are masked or unmasked at home. And to see for every day, we can give people a glimpse of the hope that exists inside of us because of the good news that we have received. God bless you, and you remain in my prayers.